Hey folks, good evening to you all and welcome to Space with me, Kalu Aja. We call it the Money Spaces because on the spaces we talk about money, personal finance, the economy, but we always make it personal, right? We want to talk about how the economic concept that you hear about every day impacts your daily life and, of course, your wallet. That's the whole idea of our spaces. And today, we do have a topic around issues of agriculture, fintech, and, of course, technology. We want to see how we can have the intersection with all three. We always talk in Nigeria about agriculture. Go back to the farm. We want to go back to the years when Nigeria was a large exporter of cash crops, when we had a lot of folks employed. But today, the demographics in Nigeria, you have a very, very young population. Yes, they want to farm, but they're not going to take a hoe and a cutlass. So farming is also has evolved, right? We now see Netherlands, small, tiny country, Netherlands, producing more food than huge Nigeria with more arable land and all that. So we have to then look at agriculture in a different way. I think it was the former president of Israel that said agriculture is 99% innovation and 1% perspiration. You've got to do more of innovation. We see trees that have five different fruits. We see GM. We see, disease-resistant crops and seeds. So it's all tech. But also we see finance coming into that space. Finance coming into that space of agriculture, where we are seeing that without money itself, it's difficult to even run agriculture because you need the funds, to build out the land, to do the sites and services, to buy the fertilizer and all that. So when we talk about agriculture, of course, fintech and tech, we have a point there. And it's my pleasure to just host Apex because they come in and they are trying to bridge and to say marry these three concepts together. We've had them on, I think it was last month, where we talked about the Code Cash Crop, which is an innovative hackathon where they're inviting the young folks out there to present solutions, right, towards the agriculture space using fintech. How can we make storage? How can we make, farmers to find markets better using fintech, using IT? That's the entire theme that we are still on today. But today we are talking innovation, right? We want to talk about innovation in agriculture and then why innovation is failing, right? The idea is when we talk about how we are not doing well, then we can do better. I've got a few guests with me. Adana is the only one online at the moment. I see Hakeem. Hakeem, I've sent you the invite, but I'm going to get Adana to go ahead and introduce herself and say hi, and then we can get going.
Hello, Carlo. Thank you so much. I think Kamal is here as well.
Oh, let me find him. Let me look for Kamal. There we go. Yeah, I see him. All right, I'm gonna send you an invite to speak, or just request to speak, and then you can be. Oh, here he is. He already requested. He's ahead of me. Ada, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. Tell us why you're here, and then we can get going.
Okay, hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Adana Atwomo. I lead the PR team at AFEX, and I'm here to talk about innovation, why we think as AFEX we think it's like an important conversation that we need to have at this time, and just basically how we intend to push the conversation of innovation around these three sectors forward at AFEX.
So, gotcha. Yeah. Excellent. Well, welcome to the space. Just hang in there. We've got Hakeem. Hey, Hakeem. How you doing? Unmute. Say hi. Tell us what's going on.
Hi, Carlo.
Hey, what's up, man?
Thank you very much for having me. So my name is Hakeem Onosaya. Like you mentioned, I lead the team at Lagos Innovates. That's the division of LSETF that caters for the ecosystem. So the founders, we have an incubation program for founders. We facilitate access to finance for people to take tech trainings. We also provide access to finance for hub owners across Lagos. And then we also provide what we call vouchers for founders to be able to make use of workspaces across Lagos. And
Wow.
I'm quite glad to be here.
Wow.
Let's see how the conversation goes. Well,
Well,
it's
Hakim, you're
so I hope I don't have to say my God before the end of this session.
Hakim, you're a guy to know. You give vouchers to founders to use spaces, and you also give loans. You're a guy to know. I'm going to save your information. I might need you, sir.
Interesting. At least I like the fact that the government is getting good vibes at the beginning of this session.
Yeah.
Hopefully we continue with good vibes to the end.
Excellent. All right, let's get Kamal in here. Kamal, go ahead and say hi, and then we'll get going.
Hi everyone. Good evening, Kalu. Thank you for having me. So my name is Kamaldin Samaila. I'm a product manager at Effects. I'm currently spearheading a very wonderful data and business intelligence team here at Effects, creating wonderful solutions. At any point, if my network fails, that's an example of innovation fail. Using Starlink, and once there's cloud cover, it's terrible.
Wow. Interesting, right? We're already in the topic, right? So, guys, how I'm going to do it, right? I have a few questions, right? So some guys have sent me DMs, and I have my own questions. So when I ask the question, whoever wants to take it, or if you want to take it, that is just fantastic. We want to learn. I want to learn about this topic. Why is innovation failing, and how we can learn from it, right? So my first question is like, how do we really define this innovation? Like, what is the benefit, challenge of innovation? For me, in the finance space, I always go with productivity. If I see a company that is productive, i.e. doing more with less, I buy their shares, right? So Tesla, Microsoft, all the companies you see out there that are doing pretty well, they are productivity generating enterprises, i.e. every year they do more with less. So in terms of agriculture, how do we define innovation? What are the benefits? What are the challenges of being innovative in today's world? All of you, I want to get like an answer from all of you. How do you define innovation, and what are the benefits and challenges from all of you? Let's start from Ada. Ada, go ahead.
That Kamal before me.
All right, Kamal. Hey, Kamal, you've been nominated. Oh, sorry about that, but they always say that quote unquote. I don't want to say ladies first, but hey,
ladies first. No, I'll allow Kamal go first.
Gotcha. Kamal, go ahead. Shoot.
All right. I typically like to, from a general perspective, I like to see innovation as a way of creating new ideas, a product or a process, or just finding a new approach to solve a big problem. And then that little approach having significant improvement to that process, so to speak. And generally, you tend to see that some innovations have some dramatic flair around them and all of that. But mostly, you'd see that innovations just help us do things easier, faster, and sometimes consider things from a much different perspective. So sometimes it's not that an innovation is technically solving a problem. It's actually even highlighting that there was even a problem to begin with.
Oh, interesting. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, one of the main importances of innovation, I would say, is the fact that it drives humanity's progress and improves our chances of survivability. It also helps us with economic growth and societal development. And then when you bring it down to the agricultural view, some of the challenges that you tend to see are
It looks like the cloud cover has got Kamal. Starlink cloud cover has got Kamal. Hakim, I like the part he said about it lets us know there's a problem, i.e. what Kamal was saying, lets us know there's a problem, and it makes us, survivability and all that. You are in that space where you are linking entrepreneurs with facilities and the government. Do you have a take on what innovation is and the benefits? And if you could localize it to me for, say, in the Nigerian state, I would love that. Hakim? Kamal, looks like you're back. You got the cloud cover off?
Yeah. I kept talking and I didn't realize I wasn't being heard.
Yeah.
So I was trying to bring it down to the agricultural perspective of things. So some of the challenges that faces agriculture are around funding and limited research. So even if people do their research, when they find an innovation, sometimes finding that market fit is usually a problem. So you might find something that is a potential solution, but is it a proper solution for the market you are bringing it into? Who is going to use this? Who is going to use this solution? Have you considered cultural perspectives, people's aversion to risk, especially in agriculture, which is high risk, high reward at the same time? So farmers generally have a high risk aversion. So you need to be able to put all these factors into play when you are introducing an innovation, and also test your hypothesis on a smaller scale before, I would say, putting all your eggs in one basket.
Kamal, do you have a local example you could share that maybe highlights what we've talked about, farmers, their aversion to risk and all that? Do you have an example you can share we can put our claws on just to understand what you're saying?
Okay. So I would use one example of how Faro 44, which is one species of rice that is being grown in Nigeria now, came to be. I just know parts of the story, so I'll just put it together a bit.
Okay.
So before now,
Kamal, if you can hear me, you've gone off, and I really want to hear this story about rice. So I'm going to give you a few seconds. Maybe the cloud should go over it. Yeah, Kamal, you went off. So you were talking about rice. You just cut off just as you started. So if you can start again on the story of rice, how we got. Just go ahead, sir.
Okay. Yeah, is this better now?
Yes. Well.
Okay, fantastic. So I was giving an example of Faro 44's introduction into the Nigerian space. Before then, in northern Nigeria, what you have people growing was usually this species of rice called Jamila, and that was the most popular brand of our species of rice that we were growing, and it was working for us. But when Faro 44 came, it was a new species that most farmers had not grown before, and then the promise to them was that you'd be able to get 60 bags. How many bags do you get today? And they tell you 30. And then you promise them things like you're going to be able to get 60 bags, and nobody believes you, because how can I be growing this same particular, I'm growing another grain, a different grain of rice, but I'm getting 2 times the number of bags I used to get before. So this one is actually a success story, but what I want to paint out is how the people who brought this innovation went about implementing it to make sure that it was a success. So what they did was explain the science to the farmers, which they may not necessarily understand completely, but at least you are putting a story and you are giving them an impact. It's sort of driving the innovation with the eventual result that you want to get, not being so absorbed by how fantastic your solution is. So it also started with a pilot test, and the first few farmers got even 90 bags, 2 times more than they even expected, 3 times more than what they were getting before. So this was something very fantastic for them. And today, so it was also getting the buy-in of farmers and processors, because it's not enough that you are tripling the yield of farmers, but then who is going to take off what they've eventually planted? So it was also getting the processors to say, we have this new species of rice. How is it going to play out in your processing?
Interesting, Kamal. So there's Faro 44 new. I was going to ask you, I know if Hakim, I was going to ask you, Kamal, is this Faro 44? Is it imported? What's the background? Is it a Nigerian made, or what is it? I don't know if you can answer that, but I think Cloud is covered over your Starlink.
So I'm not an expert on it, but I know that it's a different variety of seedling, I guess, that grow in Nigeria now.
That works for me. That works for me completely. It's very interesting to hear the backstories to what we just see as rice seed. To me, rice is rice, but you're telling me that there's Jamila and there's Faro 44. Still for me, rice is rice. So it's very interesting to hear you guys talk about the backside of it, right? So Hakim is back. Hakim, what's your take? I'd asked you earlier, what's your take on innovation? How it's defined? Because you interplay on the quote-unquote street. You are linking these guys that need something to the guys that have something. So what's your take on innovation?
Okay, thank you. Apologies, I think the system took me off. So from innovation, from my angle, would be simply put, doing things better, challenging the status quo, redefining processes and outcomes. That for me is innovation. So, and I would give examples. Before now, if anybody wanted to go to a party and you wanted to take a cab, you had to go in front of your house, stretch your hands and wave, and then one yellow and black taxi would come. If it was raining, you had to look for a shed to stay under, and the likes. Now, how do we ensure that people can get that cab to reach their houses in front of their gates? They don't have to wave their hands. People don't even have to know that it was even a cab. And Uber came in, and then we could eventually, and now we're enjoying that fact that we could get a cab by the click of a button, and it will drive straight into our house. You can even open the gate and let the car wait for you. That is improving process and improving outcomes. So innovation is basically doing things better, either in terms of how it is done or in terms of what comes out of it. And there are various angles to it. Innovation doesn't have to be backed by technology. Innovation sometimes can just have to do with redefining process. So, most of the time we talk about innovation backed by technology, but knowing that I can reach out to 4 people if I use a megaphone as opposed to shout, is some form of innovation. If I was going to use my voice, so people will be able to hear me. Now I have a megaphone, I can talk to 100 people at the same time. That is ensuring that I'm reaching 100 people with less amount of energy that I even have used to reach 2 people. And the benefits of this is, one, companies have what we call competitive advantage. It then means that with the same amount of input and resources that everybody is given, assuming we are all given the same, you can produce more. You can reach more customers. You can make more profits. Also in the sense of efficiency and productivity, it means that with the same amount of staff, for example, with the same amount of 8 hours you have to work per day, you can serve more people within the same time. And it also then leads to economic growth because we are then doing more with less. So also coming from the government angle is the fact that as a people and as also an economy, that there needs to be that constant striving to question status quo, to be able to do things better and maximize existing resources, maximize the fact that the economists always say that resources are always scarce, but despite that scarcity, how do we do more with less? How do we leverage technology? How do we leverage tools at our beck and call to do more? So in my angle, to summarize, is basically doing more with less, redefining processes, and also providing better outcomes.
Gotcha. Let me ask you, Hakim, again with examples. You are on the market, on the field, right? What's going to be a good example of a well-introduced innovative product that caught on with, say, the off-takers? And what's going to be, in your view, an example of, should we say, a bad innovation that did not catch on? Could you give us an example of maybe a best case, either on the good or the bad side, that the audience could learn from?
Okay, so from the good side would be typically what everybody had gone through at some point, which is where we all thought that the minimum amount of seconds you must use when you want to make a phone call has to be 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And MTN and Fairtel at that time had made us feel that even if you speak for 10 seconds, you have to pay for 1 minute. And Glo came in and then said, no, you clearly can pay per second. And it changed the face of the market. And even MTN had said that we didn't know could actually do per second billing, then started doing per second billing. That is solving a problem using technology and using existing resources, which was something that really, really changed the face of the market. Now, before then, if you call someone 1 minute, 1 second, they're paying for 2 minutes. You have to tell the person, you should have called the call at 59 seconds, please. But that is how, for me, that is one perfect example of innovation that drastically changed the market of telecommunications in Nigeria.
Gotcha.
An example of a bad case would be clearly Twitter saying we should pay for we should pay for our blue tick. In an example where if anybody has a blue tick, the person clearly has earned it. There is some identity behind that blue tick. There is some verification that has gone behind that blue tick. But now innovation say no, anybody could just buy it, and then any human being on Twitter can have it. For me, it's an example of bad innovation, which well, that's my opinion. People can think otherwise.
Interesting perspective. I like that. Interesting. I like the like you said, the Glow and the MTN thing. Clear example that if you do innovation, it not just affects how we use products, but it also defines market share, profitability, and it affects everyone. So I like that example you gave. Let me come to Adana, right? Adana, in the context of the Code Crash Crop 4.0, right? What themes, like, as or specific steps can shareholders take to align their innovations with market demand? So, essentially, like, if I'm a contestant in the Code Cash Crop, and I hear Hakeem and Kamal talk about how innovation has got to be scalable, has got to be user friendly, what can I do, right, to align my innovation I want to present so that the market basically adopts it, if I may put that in a different way?
Okay. And I would answer your question using, some of the solutions that we saw in terms of the ag hackathon that we just finished, and I think that the best way would be, aside from making sure that whatever innovation that you brought actually solves a problem. It's also that how much research has gone into the solution or innovation that you have come up with. And sometimes we find that some innovations are not, it's not market fit because enough research has not gone into it. So your idea can be amazing, but because you have not done enough research to then adapt that innovation into the current situation on ground, then it's not adoptable. It's not even going to hit the ground running. Not to then talk about scaling. And I think that it's very important that a lot of thought goes into research and making sure that, okay, I have this innovative idea, but I then have to then put in a lot of work in the research side of things to then ensure that I fit my idea appropriately into the problem that it wants to solve. Then it can, start up and then start building and trying to scale. So I would definitely say research.
That's an interesting point. So, in essence, you are saying it's not how good per se, it's not how innovative or how fancy the solution is, but it's got to speak to the user. So, look at Kamal is struggling now with Starlink. Starlink is a wonderful product. He can get internet in his village, but cloud cover in the tropics is going to be. So, that's what I hear you saying?
Yes. Yes.
So, do the market research to know what the people need. But if I was to give you devil's advocate, I would say people don't know what they want. And sometimes when you bring out innovation, then people say, I think I like this.
Yeah, there's definitely that part of it, right? But even in the angle of people not knowing what they want, are the people even ready to receive it? So I'm going to use,
good point.
Before we launched Comex, we had tried Comex in 2016, I believe, and it failed because the market wasn't ready. It was such an innovative idea. We knew that the people wouldn't want it, right? But it's like you also have to check what's the market readiness to receive, for them to even embrace the idea that this could be good for me. So there's also that. I
agree. I will take that. Hakeem or Kamal, do you guys want to add anything to this?
Hi, Kalu. Hi, everyone. So I just want to follow Adana's what Adana has said, just build on it a little. Part of what Code Cash Crop is doing is presenting people with an actual problem and saying, we have done the research, these are actual problems in this space. So come up with or use other innovations and sort of tailor them to some of these problems. Find the culture fit, test your hypothesis, and see how far you can push it. That's what I wanted to add.
Okay, but since I have you here, we're talking about Code Crash Club. Talk to me about, if I'm a guy just walking into this space, I've never heard about Code Crash Club. What is it, right? What are the insights I'm expecting? What do you guys do in Code Crash Club? How does it tie into this innovation, agriculture, fintech? Just talk broadly to me about what you guys are trying to achieve with Code Crash Club.
Okay, so I'll start an introduction and let Adana give a full broader view.
Gotcha.
But basically, Code Cash Crop is a competition. It's an innovative challenge that is sort of binding agriculture, finance, and technology. Because in the ag space today, it's not enough that you solve one part of the problem. You have to be very holistic in whatever solution you are bringing to the market. It has to combine something that solves for the farmer directly, but it has to also be something scalable, which is what technology gives you. And then you need financing. So how are you going to get funding, or how are you going to use the funding that you get to push the solution down the pipeline? So Adana, do you want to speak more on how people can get to Code Cash Crop, and then the eventual results that we hope to get from the competition?
Thank you, Kamal. And just to build on what Kamal has said, Code Cash Crop at the core of it is to bring, people within the ag, finance, and technology sector together to have conversations. And over the years, what we've done with Code Cash Crop is to align our teams based on where we are at AFEX, but also where we're looking to see the industry go in the future. And obviously this year we thought about innovation as the key thing to discuss. But innovation in the sense that there are already existing innovations happening, but it's to then say how do we then create or build on the innovations existing to then scale Pan-African wise in such a way that the solutions are then adaptable in various African countries. Code Cash Crop also tries to build community in the sense of we're trying to build a community of young people who are within this space, who are doing amazing things, creating solutions, innovative solutions, and trying to scale those solutions. We're trying to create a community of innovators, more like to say, you have the solution, bring it, let us then see how we can then help you scale it. Aside from financial ways, but also in terms of human resources, in saying how do we then create space for other people to see these innovations that you have and also buy into it. And that's really what we're looking to do with Code Cash Crop. Aside from the hackathons, it's also the conversations that we are putting together to have different conversations around innovations, why innovations fail, what are the fundamentals that keep an innovative idea running, how do you then align these innovations to fit what people, while you're trying to grow the community aspect of things, of your innovation, but then how do you then align it to making profit, making sure that it's planet friendly. Just trying to have conversations around the different aspects of innovation is really what we're trying to achieve with Code Cash Crop this year.
Okay, so more or less is, if I have an idea, I can come and pitch, and my idea has got to be around that agric fintech space, and if I pass, I get a cash gift. What I win?
Yeah, you get a cash gift, but that's just, again, like I said, it's just one part of it, because obviously every innovative idea needs financing and money. But aside from it, is to then, obviously with the help of organizations like LSETF, to then open doors to these innovators to say, hey, we're trying to also bring people within each of these space in one place, to hear them pitch some of these ideas and want to buy into it, right? So aside from making sure that we pick innovative solutions is to then be very intentional about the kind of people that we're bringing into the room, to hear them actually pitch their ideas, to have them be able to walk up to these people. So to be able to walk up to like a Hakeem at the event and say, hey, I have this idea, been working on it, this is where I'm at, and then having a Hakeem being interested in it and saying, okay, let's see how we can help you with the resources that they have available to scale this idea up. But it's also like one part of Code Cash Crop, aside from the conversations that we plan to have.
Okay, so and I heard you just say, just the last one, Ada, I heard you say profitability. When you are looking at projects presented to you, is profitability, or should we say social good? How do you weigh that? If I have a proposal that says cassava can last longer for say 2 weeks in the villages in the southeast, that's a very, very social thing. It might not make a lot of money. Will that weigh over someone that says, listen, I have a proposal that can make that can reuse, should we say, vegetable oil, it will give me 30% more? How do you guys weigh, as the judges, how do you weigh proposals in terms of profitability and social good? Or is there even a distinction that even have to speak?
So for us, at the core of it is how innovative is this idea that you have,
okay,
social good, right? And then we look through a lot of solutions to say, okay, does this look good? Do we think that if we work with this person and ideate more and try to expand their scope even more, will it eventually become profitable? So really at the core of it is, how is your solution or innovative idea going to help in the long run, right? And then we bring your ideas in. We have a team of people within Apex and even outside of Apex that who then work with you on that idea and say, okay, this is your idea, have more conversations with you, kind of expand it even more. And that's what we did with the boot camp, kind of have conversations with them, expand it even more, have their mentors talk to them and say, okay, I mean, you should tweak this, tweak that, because if you do it this way, it would end up not being profitable, or if you do it this way, it would then be profitable. So at the core of it really is the social good. How is this going to eventually be beneficial to the people who you're building it for? But at the end of the day, when we are done helping you tweak, expanding your scope, how will it then make money for you as the owner of the idea?
Gotcha. Hakeem, let me ask you real quick, right? In terms of how you relate, when you did your intro, we heard you talk about how you give vouchers, how you are helping founders link to developers. How does this play, this code catcher, how does it play into what you do? Is it helpful? Do you want to see more of this? Is this model, i.e. of an organization bringing in the youths to come in and create solutions, is this helpful? Is this the way to go? What's your take on all this?
Okay, thank you very much. I personally, and also from the organization's point of view, think that this is the way to go. And I think in the tech ecosystem and in the innovation space, this is a model PPP with in this area. And I say that because while we support innovatively driven and technologically driven enterprises, Code Cash Crop helps to find those people out. Oh. So you can imagine if we had to then do all of this ourselves, and then we then had to find them, support with incubating them and giving them vouchers, it's clearly a lot of work. So the question is, how do we find them? How do we work with people who are also interested in what we are interested in? How do we partner with people who want to support young Nigerians, young Africans who are looking at using innovation to revolutionize the agricultural sector? And I think that other states or other organizations should look in this line, because one, it helps to combat the incidence and prevalence of youth unemployment. Why? Because we are basically taking young people with ideas out and helping them to fine-tune the ideas and making those ideas into profitable enterprises. And if those enterprises become profitable, one thing is sure, they're going to have to expand, and they employing 3-4 people is mopping our country of unemployed people. Two is this is also an avenue to improve our productivity and efficiency as a nation. Because we cannot keep doing things the 1930s way and expect to feed 200 million Nigerians. We need to be able to, we need to be innovative in from even deciding what seed to plant, to when to plant it, to the kind of soil to plant it, to the kind of fertilizers to use so that we can improve yield, while also ensuring that we do not go against, ethics. And also, third in the sense that it also helps to, to put government in that space of innovation, because it then tells the whole world that, as opposed to what we know, that government is usually against it, this is basically telling the whole world, and I'm happy to say that government is in support of innovation. And we are not just waiting for those for innovation to have yielded fruit before identifying with it. We are saying, we will start with you from the get-go. We will help you find them. We will support people that are looking for them. We will support them with incubation. When they are done, we'll support them with having access to workspace vouchers so that they can continue building. It helps us to be at the forefront of innovation. It helps us to ensure that when policies are being designed, we are also aware of what the ecosystem is doing and how to do policies to support the growth. And we're not just enacting policies or designing policies without adequate understanding and knowledge. So I think this is a perfect example of a PPP that is improving innovation, and luckily for us, it's happening in the agricultural space, because if there's anything that we need to accomplish as a nation is being able to be sustainable in terms of how we feed ourselves, and also going away from that to also exporting and feeding other countries. An avenue for us to end forex if we can export as much as we should. So for us, it's a win-win on a lot of the angles, and we are quite glad that we are doing this with one of Africa's finest agricultural companies, Afex. And this is an open call to people who really are interested in innovation and want to support them as much as possible. Our doors are open any day, anytime.
Excellent. So, Adana, I don't know if you can answer that. I'm basically looking at the Twitter feed for AFEX. I hope I'm playing it right, because they corrected me last week. AFEX, right? And I'm looking at the finalists, right? The guys that were selected out of the let me see how many guys were here. You guys have this finalist. Out of 130 entries, you got 25 semi-finalists. Now, 6 finalists are going to represent to go to I'll say the finals, right, for tech, finance, and agric. Can you talk about one of these guys? What did they present? Or two, what did they present? Why was it unique? And how you think that solution that they presented is going to basically lead to productivity gains and even scale of agriculture? Just one or two. I see some very nice ideas here using AI and all that. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting process, and I'm happy Kamal is here, because Kamal really helped us in, picking out some of these solutions. When we were deciding how to go about the Ag Hackathon bit of things, I think the first thing that we did was to then source for challenges. So we reached out to a couple of other people within the ag sector to say, what are the issues that you're facing? And then it was curated around 3 key challenges, which were, of course, data. Some of them didn't have access to data that they needed. Of course, logistics, and then extension. And so that was how we curated this year's challenges, and then we opened it up, and we had people send in solutions, very innovative solutions to add, solving each of these challenges that we put up. And we kind of had very key metrics. So it was how innovative are the solutions, how adaptable will they be on the field, on the actual field, when it's taken to the field, how adaptable will it be? The other thing that we then looked at is, in the long run, how profitable will this even be? And then finally was then what are the tech solutions backing this. We had very interesting entries, but some of the entries that eventually made it to the finals, which were very exciting for me, was especially the data. We had people give us very innovative solutions around data, and it boiled down to having thinking of the final user at the forefront of it. I think one of the data solutions that made it to the finalists was very specific as to, thinking about the farmer who doesn't have a phone but needs, say, price data. How do they then get it? And the guy went as far as USSD code, pick the language that you speak. So if you're Hausa, once you pick Hausa, the data comes to you in that language. If you're Yoruba, once you pick Yoruba on the USSD, the data comes to you in that language. And for me, it was very interesting and that was the reason why I talked about research when you asked me an earlier question, to say that this person has really thought about the end user, who is the farmer, right? I mean, one of the end users, right, who is the farmer, but also thought about me who could also be in the office and also need access to this price data. So while he's catering to the farmer using USSD code, he's catering to me using like a mobile app or a web version of the app. And so for me, I just really enjoyed the fact that some of them, or rather the finalists, really, really thought about the end users, the various end users, and just how these solutions will then be adaptable to them. I think that was really what was exciting for me, and I'm looking forward to seeing them teach live at the grand finale. So yeah.
Yeah. So Hakeem, which other contestant caught your eye in terms of the solution? I was talking about the USSD. There are 4 of them. I would have loved to see 1, 2, 3. For this guy did this. Which other one caught your eye?
Interestingly, I think I and Adana have the same choice. Interesting. So I think if you're putting our money on anybody, I think my money is on that guy.
I hope we're not. I hope we're not tilting the scale when you guys have your finals on August the 12th. I hope we're not.
No. Objectivity is key. This is my personal opinion.
And go ahead.
To be fair, we also have solutions from Nairobi, and the Nairobi solutions are fire, to be honest. And I'm really excited. There's a guy called Silo Africa. I'm really excited to have him come to Nigeria and teach. So our judges are going to be a mix of Nigerians and Kenyans as well, because again, it's how do we then adapt solutions that will scale Pan-African. And so the Kenyan guys are really coming with fire, and I'm really, really excited to see how. So
Kenyan people are coming to Nigeria, and you want them to win and take $10,000 to Kenya. I hope. The
goal is innovative solution that would scale the sectors Pan-African.
Yeah.
So if it's a Kenyan, great. If it's a Nigerian, amazing. So,
I mean, I'm just saying because the Kenyans are on their A game. Those guys are very good. So the Nigerian guys should not assume that they are, these guys are going to come with real solutions. The agricultural sector in Kenya, scope, depth in any way outclasses what Nigeria has. In terms of dairy, these guys export flowers. You go to Kenya, I think by 2 a.m., they bring the flower boards, they're wrapping them by 2 a.m. It goes on a plane and it flies from Kenya to the Amsterdam. So when it lands in Amsterdam, the flower boards are opening up, and then people in Amsterdam buy them as they're going to go to work. This is like you need organization to get these flowers on the plane, take off, and land in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So let's not say we're looking at Ken Walker and I. Those guys they're not no joke. So I'm just saying this point. The Nigerian guys, come with your A game. I don't want to hear a story that this one happened, that one happened. I mean,
we're really prepping them to come with their
if I could read it, this guy has solution MCHE. He's saying this is Michael. He's saying the solution was to allow farmers use AI to answer questions concerning how they can, what time to grow at the right price. That's what he presented. This Michael guy here. I have another one here. I just reading through, seeing what they did and why you guys picked them. Yeah, so quite interesting. This guy here, this is Kulima. This is Mr. Ajibade. This is the guy you talk about, the innovative USSD that addresses the critical need for accessible and localized guidance, particularly with takes away the language barrier. So essentially, he's solving that language barrier around, and we know that's a big deal. In my village, people speak a different language than people in, say, Kano. So if we could all go on an app and we could all speak the same language using this guy's solution, that would add a lot of depth to it. Let me... go ahead.
And I was going to add that all 6 of these guys, of these pioneers, already have like prototypes. Some of them already have like existing businesses, and some of them are like they're already in like wireframe prototype, ready to go to market with their solutions. I think the AI guy that you mentioned, he already has like an existing solution. He's already pushed it to the market, and then trying to integrate AI right now into it. And so it's really exciting, and which for us is at the core of Code Cash Crop, because we believe like the sky is wide enough, right? And we want other people in the market, and we want young people, youth-led solutions, because we are really the future right now, and we're just thinking of how do we then empower these guys to do even more amazing things.
Exactly. Come on. What did you like in the presentations? Yes, I've got Hakim and Adana seem to go. Who? Even if it didn't win, like what solution caught your eye?
So I like the USSD for extension. It's not going to be a biased judgment, but I like it because of the inclusivity. So it's not just saying I want to deploy USSD because farmers have feature phones, but this guy has thought to the extent that I want to be able to accommodate several different cultures, several different levels of understanding, which is why you have the different languages, and then you now also have a web platform. So I like it because it's quite inclusive and it's very simple. So innovations don't have to be too complex. The simpler it is, the better.
Gotcha. I got that. Super. So let's go more in. Wait, okay, Molly, wait there. All right. Okay, gotcha. So guys, we now have the finalists on the 12th. It's going to be held in Nigeria. What's going to happen when we get there? What's going to happen? And again, if you guys want to, I'm thinking to the Apex folks, if you do have a DM or you want to ask them a question, please feel free and I'll add you. I just want to give them time to talk about innovation and all that. Let me share my own innovative story, right? And I think maybe that would help a bit, right? I would like to see innovation into how we can, for the farmers in Nigeria, how we can mechanize them to get them to use, even if it's, I don't know the word now, to mechanize farming in Nigeria with lower cost. I think that's going to be a big, oh my God, my voice.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm back. So if we can mechanize farming for the very, very poor farmers in the hinterland of Nigeria that just farm with the hoe and the cutlass. If we can build this very, very small, I better pass my neighbor cultivators and should we say harvesters, that would go a long way. If a farmer could simply take a better pass my neighbor, put petrol in it, and it can cultivate more acreage, that would increase or reduce the need to have human capital, gives him more, he does more with less time. That would really be something that we can, exploit. And if we can power that device, and solar is not going to be possible, but In America, I see them using solar-powered lawnmowers, solar-powered lawn. These things that cut the hedges and all that, all from solar. They plug it in overnight, and it has enough power to work all through the day. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but that would be a big help for the guys that live off-grid, off in the villages, to have solar to power something mechanized, even if it's irrigation, and we can reduce the time that they use manual labor. That's going to be really something I would really love to see. Let's get Malika. I've got a caller here. Malaika. How are you doing, sir? He's dropped off. Adana, so sorry. I think I'm back now. So Adana, what's your take again on the overall impact of, say, the new government policy? I'm not trying to get political, but what's your take, right? And we had come out talk about that the government PPP. What would you like to see going forward? Can this be used as, if we scale this, can this be used as a way to get the youths into agriculture? Can this be a quote-unquote palliative? Can we introduce, say, this on a local government level with equity placement and say every month or every quarter we have this, and the best ideas get an equity contribution from, say, the local government or the state government, or a fund that is contributed by these agencies? Do you think there's an idea there around that?
That's a very interesting question. I particularly I think that there could be something there that could evolve. And I think that young people, the way to get young people into agriculture is really to be realistic about how effort intensive agriculture really is. That's on one part, but also to then create like products that young people could then, as a way of investment in agriculture, then participate. I think that getting young people to participate in agriculture, and I'm speaking as someone who works within the agri-tech space. Before I joined AFEX, I think that as a young person, the only thing that I knew about agriculture was, my dad being very enthusiastic about going to the farm and all of that, and me going to the farm with him. But joining AFEX and just seeing how effort intensive it is, I think that the best way to have young people participate would just be to be very realistic about the effort that goes into agriculture, and in terms of having the government play a role. I think that right now the government is more focused about empowering our food security basket than empowering young people to come into the market, which for me, I think that the young people are still the future of making sure, or rather the young people participating in agriculture is still the way of securing our food basket. But again, we're very open to the government collaboration. So far, they've been helpful, but I think that there could be so much more that they can do in ensuring that we continue to increase youth participation.
Gotcha. Kamal, I'm looking on that chart here in terms of trading, right? And it says maize is the highest traded crop in Nigeria. Kamal, it says maize alone is the highest traded commodity in Nigeria, according to you guys. Maize also ties into poultry. And I've heard a lot of farmers in Nigeria talk about that poultry is very expensive because of the maize. So no poultry, no eggs, no meat, no protein, all that. How come maize is so highly traded and the supply locally in Nigeria really can't keep up? Is it imported maize? Just to talk around there as an investor, what's really happening in that space? Are we importing this maize, or is it the local maize we have is not enough? There's a guy I speak to, the farmer here, I think it's Haruna, and he was telling me that once he brings his maize to the market, it goes instantly. So is it traded because the price is high, it's in high demand? Do we really have enough maize in Nigeria locally?
Okay, so I would address this question by first stating that, again, I'm not an expert, but the virtue of working in Apex also gives me some room to also experience some of these situations and have some relative understanding.
Yeah.
So maize is a staple crop. It's inside 90 or at least 80% of the food that you consume, from cornflakes to maize flour foods, and then yes, even poultry consume it. So, and if you think about the population or the volume amount of poultry that we have in Nigeria, it's tremendous. So there is a lot of stress on the sources of food, which have not really changed. So even though we have a huge population of farmers and maize is grown mostly in the north, however, the demand for that maize is across the country. So you have high demand and low supply, even when you supplement it with both dry season and wet season planting. It's the same number of people that are growing the same amount, the same volume of maize. So yes, there is that. There's what we need to work on would rather be increase the volume of maize in the country. I don't know much about if we are importing maize, to be honest, but I would say we still do a lot of growing internally. However, yes, it might not be enough to support the demand for it.
Yeah, that was very interesting for me. That was a big market of volume around that crop. Just want to know why it was that important. Let me read a DM to you from a guy here. I didn't participate in cold cash crop, but I have ideas and I belong to a fintech hub in Nnewi. Is there a way we can present to you as a body, or when is this going to happen again? This is somebody asking on DM that they didn't come for the events. Are you guys going to be there again, or can they give you an idea through on that channel? Is there any channel for them?
So yeah, let me answer that. Yes. So the way that we went about this year's own was to involve a lot of tech hubs, accelerator, and incubator hubs. And next year we're then also going. I heard him say Nnewi. So we're looking to then partner with incubation hubs and tech hubs within, as in depth as each of these areas. But I would happily say follow us on our social media platforms. Next year we intend to open the challenge even earlier than we did this year. I think this year we opened up the challenges in April. Next year we intend to open up even earlier on and give enough space for us to be able to visit these hubs like we did this year.
Gotcha.
But also enough time for them to be able to see this the posts wherever they see it, and also jump on it. And we're very happy to have young people wherever you are within Nigeria participate.
Okay, quick question. So my friend actually jumped on skin. I have Haruna. Haruna is my go-to guy when I want to go out and feel the grass. When I want to distill policies down to the local level. So Haruna is a farmer in the north. I think it's the north. He has 2 large farms way in the north. So whenever we talk, I like to invite him to tell me his own perspective, right? So Haruna is listening, and I'm saying, Haruna, Code Cash Crop is, it's a hackathon. We're bringing in folks to design innovative solutions. The key word there is innovation. The topic today on Twitter is innovation, best practice, how it has failed, what has succeeded. We talked about rice yields and all that. Haruna, as a farmer in the north, right, what would you like to see come out of this Code Crash crop? What sort of innovation do you think, if it came out, you would really go for it, you would spend money on it? Or what idea would you want them to challenge the next folks to take a peek at? If you could give us your own perspective, that would really help us.
Well, good evening, Carl. Good evening to everyone on the space or morning. It's nice to be on the space once again.
Thank you.
Well, you see, innovation, first of all, what do you define innovation? To me, innovation is rather application of engineering, technological, or whatever to make life easy for human beings, or to make life easy in automation of processes, either mechanical, electrical, and agriculture, and so on and so forth. I think it's just to make things faster, boost ease of doing processes in whatever sector that is applicable. Now, coming to our own perception, our technology advancement where farmers are is so low, because you have a lot of places where even the network is not available. First of all, network challenges. Secondly, yes, network challenges. A lot of our farmers, you don't have network within when you get into the farms because they are not in the cities and they are way off the main roads where you have the tours, like, erected local government headquarters and so on and so forth. So maybe probably more than 40% or 60% of our land mass technology is not available. So now, with this non-availability of technology, what do we do to bridge the gap that will help the farmer access this technology that would be designed in the form of apps, in the form of linkage with their value chain, in the form of processing, and so on and so forth. Now in farming, you can have even technological breakthrough. It's a simple science that will give you the quality of your soil. That's the nutrients value of your soil. To know the applicable fertilizer and so on, what to do to fix your soil. That technology is not available. So the tech guys, if they can do something, it's just a simple tech thing that when you dip in, even if it's a rod, it can give you a profile, even if it is up to 1 meter is enough. Because maximally you need just maybe like 150 to 200 mm of a soil, topsoil for your farming. But like if you get 1 meter that you can profile, it's good. And then it gives you the nutrient content of the soil so that it will help you to know, okay, this is the quantity or this is the type of fertilizer I'm supposed to apply, or what do I do to increase the nutrient value of my soil naturally without even applying chemical fertilizer that depletes and bleach the soil. Application of compost. Like now, I've seen a guy in, I think, Kenya or Uganda. What he does this fly black horse. He farms them. So he used cow dung to get them. And then they lay eggs, 500, 600 eggs. And he used those eggs, the larvae, to feed his chicken. He has reduced the use of chicken feed to about 60%. And the grade of protein is so high. So you see, it's an innovation that he started to use. So he's into that now, using cow dung. And the flies, they are not harmful, they don't bite, they are lazy. Immediately they mate, the husband dies, the male dies, and she can lay 400 to 600 eggs. You can see innovation now to break through the poultry feed escalation prices all over. Because maize is an essential thing, and there's a competition. People eat it, they use it in, like the other guys say, cornflakes and so on and so forth. So what percentage do our poultry farmers, our poultry millers need of the maize we produce now? Not forgetting the insecurity that people cannot access their farms. So the gap is monumental. How do we improve our seedlings? How do you have good seedlings that will give you? The other guy was talking about Faro 44. How do we increase our maize seedlings that will give us high yield, that we can get maybe 120, 140 bags, 50 kg bags per hectare, 100 bags per hectare. Those are the innovation we're supposed to concentrate on. Because if we take care of the security, the innovation and the technological breakthrough can break into for the farmer to get access to this thing. Because without the farmer, at the rural level, that farmer that produces 10, 20 bags that you think is not, if you put them in a hub now, they might produce more than 10,000, 20,000 bags. You understand what I'm trying to say? So you can see the quantum. So, and by giving them improved seedling, improved technology, application of fertilizers, and so on, creating a good value chain in the business, offsetting the off-takers that rip off farmers, having direct access flow to the market, I think that technology will help to create benefit for the farmer at the end of the day. I'm here for now.
I got you. So, Hannah, I was writing them down. You talked about the access, the general telecom access. I'm not sure these guys can do that. General telecom access, IE, and all that. Then you spoke about the soil tech one. If they can create something that you can dip, like a rod or IT, or scan a piece of paper into the ground and to give you the acidity content, and to tell the farmer that, okay, based on what we are seeing, use this sort of fertilizer. I found that very interesting. I've seen it in the US, where you can take a picture or you dip something into the soil and then you put it on an analyzer and it can tell you the content or the chemical composition. You talk about improved seedlings, then you talk about maize, the example of the Kenyan guy using the flies and dung, to feed his poultry and all that. So I got Kamal, I got Hakeem. You've heard from a farmer, in Nigeria, what he is looking for in terms of innovation that would help improve his yield, the things that he thinks you guys can do. Do you have any feedback or any follow-up on what he said? What do you think is feasible within the confines of Apex and all that? You guys have the floor. Hakeem and Kamal and Adana, you guys have the floor. Go ahead.
Thanks, Kalu. And it was very interesting to hear Haruna speak. Thank you. And what was most interesting was how he was validating some of the problem areas that we have considered as an organization as well, especially around soil profiling. So that's something we are currently working on. I would say watch this space, but I don't know which space particularly. But just keep watching Apex. You'll see something around that soon, Haruna. We have one solution called Workbench, which is our farmer and outreach handling SAS. So it has some of those functionalities being built into it. But yes, innovations can only be present or can only work when the people who would use them or benefit from them are comfortable, like you mentioned, insecurity and stuff like that. And then things around infrastructure to support some of these innovations like network towers and stuff like that. It will be helpful if other organizations, the government, a full partnership, we all should collaborate and realize that if we're able to feed Nigeria, feed Africa, we'll be able to think more and focus our energy on different other solutions. So it has to be a collaborative effort. That's one thing I wanted to highlight. Other things are definitely possible, and some, yes, certainly within the realm of what FX covers. But yes, Haruna, thank you for validating some of those things. It will also be good to catch you after this, just to hear some of the ideas you have.
I'm Haruna's agent, so whatever you guys are discussing, please.
Oh, sure, certainly. I think we'll also need some of your insights as well.
Yeah, but if you want to reach him, he's very, he's in the practicality of it, and he's always been accessible to us to say, these things you guys are saying, this is my angle. And it's always important to hear from the guys, quote unquote, with boots on the ground. So thanks, Kamal. I don't know if Hakeem has any follow-up or other.
Kamal has spoken a lot on the FX side of things, but I wanted to plug someone who also pitched his idea at the boot camp, and he was trying to also solve the issue that Haruna has raised up on soil, and I believe the guy is a soil scientist. I was trying to find the name of his solution. I think he already launched it. I would just leave it in the chat. It's called Reway, and literally the platform just, what it does is, you're able to take a sample of soil, upload it. There's a way that it works that is so amazing to me, that you're also able to get soil insights, weather forecast, straight to your phones. I think it also adapts to your language as well. And it's such an innovative idea. It was one of the ideas that we saw at the boot camp, and that's just to show you like the intensity of solutions that we saw. It just cuts across, some of the issues that farmers are facing. I think I've left the link to his platform in the chat of this space.
Mm-hmm.
And Harun, I think you can also just take a look at it. He works out of Imo State, and he has such innovative ideas on, things around soil, weather, data. It's actually really great. And I think that Haruna or anyone on the space can also just take a look at it. If
I don't know. Is it the Rewet Technologies? RIW Technologies.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna retweet that. So if you want to grab it, it's just gonna be on my handle. Rewa Tech. 4x your farm productivity with Rewa Tech's proprietary solution. So it basically increases yield per farm. It will be okay. Harvest more, stress less. The agricultural revolution. Eliminate barriers. Mitigate risks. Yeah, it looks like a nice website. Is this guy Nigerian?
Yeah, he's based out of Imo. He came all the way from Imo to the boot camp to pitch his idea. It was really amazing.
Yeah, he looks like a Lagos Business School, Ford Foundation, Gain. He looks like he's been around, He's in the US.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. Thanks. Haruna, so I don't know, Haruna, did you have they're giving you directions, they're giving you guys you can follow up with. I think that what I hear them saying is that, yes, we are on it and we want to hear more from you and want to basically solve this together. Like we said, it's agric, tech, and fintech. That's what we're trying to do. You can't do the agric without the fin. You can't do the tech without the agric and all that. It's a combo of all three. So I like how you guys are basically collaborating all three. Effects, Haruna, Ada, Hakim, and Kamal. I love that. All right, guys. I don't know if there's any other one that has a DM or wants to speak. Otherwise, I'd like to let these good folks that have been with me for an hour go back and enjoy their weekend. I have a few DMs, but I think those questions you're asking, we've sort of touched on them. Adana has explained that we're going to have another episode of the Code Crash Crop, and this time it will be a bit more, you would know when it's out. And she's saying, I heard her say, partner with your local hub, try to, wherever you are, try to partner with folks so you can hear when these events come up. You have to get out there and sell your solution. Like if you wink in the dark, nobody's going to see it. So try to get out there, join a trade group. Yeah, join a trade group and all that. So you get the information, because your pitch could have won. Even if you don't win, think about the networking. I saw the pictures of the Code Crash Club event you guys had. I saw the people there. It was a very, very, quote unquote, small room in terms of you could reach out and talk to someone sitting by your side. That's how you network.
Yeah.
People were there. You guys were having fun. Although you guys promised me hoodie, I'm still not getting my hoodie.
We still have your hoodie, Carlo.
Okay,
and you know what's interesting? We still have, what we had was just the boot camp.
Yeah.
What we had was just the boot camp. And we're now putting together, finishing touches on the grand finale that we're having in August 12th. So your hoodie is with me.
Thank you. Thank you. Please keep it. We'll send someone to collect it, I beg. Yeah, it was very nice. I like the set. The whole idea of just bringing the professionals and the guys that have a lot of ideas to just talk. And that's why I've asked you that question. We have to take this, as I say, on the road. And even if I'm not going to give gifts out, just the fact that people can go out. Lots of folks want to do this private equity. Lots of folks want to raise money. Lots of folks want to, see where the investors are. Even if you guys provide the platform where every month, just like you do Apollo Theater, where on the Apollo Theater you go there and you showcase your skills. If you catch fire, you catch fire. If you fail, you fail. But if people know every month on the 25th, on the 12th, I can go here and I will pitch. People will come and sit down and just listen. You're not guaranteeing success, neither are you guaranteeing return, but it's a space. If I have an idea, I go there and pitch. And if people like it, they take my number after. People don't like it, and all that. But it's a good thing you guys are doing, and I want you guys to succeed and to do more of it. Haruna, did you have any further comments before we sort of start to wind down the space?
Kalu, you see, we have a problem of adaptation. What do I mean? We design products and we don't have good marketing segmentation strategy on the products we design. Okay, you have an application. I saw the Rewire thing she's talking about. I went through the page. But it's a technology-driven thing. But where the accessibility of the technology at the local level, you see the chain is broken. You understand what I mean?
I hear you. So, I hear you. So, in effect, Hannah, if I could understand what you're saying, right? Solutions are there. You want them to be domesticated.
Exactly. You see, when we domesticate it and we look at the segmentation of our market in trying to create an innovative platform, what is the target? Which market, the segment of the market, which one are you targeting? You are targeting farmers that are big-time farmers that have accessibility. That is it. But now,
Hannah, did I lose you, Hannah?
At the bottom of the pyramid, the farm bottom of the pyramid, what do we have for them? That is where mainly, forget the big-time farmers that can access all these things. But down there at that level, how do we communicate that to them? And how will the technology reach them? You understand what I'm trying to say?
I hear you. Hannah, let me take you up on that, right? Let me ask you a question, and you could answer, just let's go on a tangent here. When I travel, I always like to go to the farms in the US, in the UK. You see a lot of, per acreage, they don't have small farms, these small, tiny farms and all that. They seem to have rather large acreages, a lot of mechanization and all that. When I go to the north, you see the large farms, you also see the smaller farms. In terms of the economics of it, do you think it makes sense for those large farms to sort of cooperate and then they can then get access to, say, because my question is that, is it profitable for a small farm to use tech? How much would he produce on that small farm? Netherlands is a very, very small country, but they've sort of used high tech in those small, tiny farms, and they are rich enough to afford it. In Nigeria, we are not as rich as the citizens of Netherlands. What's going to be the ROI if you take that high tech to a small farm in, say, Jigawa, and say, this farm, we're going to invest a amount of money? How much will then be the bag of maize? Will it go up? Will it go down? What's your take around this? I want to get your take.
You see, that's why I talk of the segmentation in the market. Now you see, you can bring farmers together.
Yeah.
When you bring even 10 farmers, you will be surprised that you have about 100 or 150 hectares. But then there are small-time farmers. So this technology, at what cost are you going to deliver it? That's the very...
Did I lose him again? Haruna, I hope
that is...
Okay.
Yeah, hello? Are you hearing me?
Yes.
You see, farmers are adaptive to changes, but the approach and the cost of it, that is what that farmer at the bottom of a pyramid will look at. Okay, I have just 10 hectares. You are coming with this technology. It will improve. It will make me improve it will improve, he doesn't care about telling him that this is the new trend, because this is the type of, this is like extension services. At what cost are you giving him those services? That is the first thing he will think of. But now, if you go to a farm, you say, okay, I have this technology, let me test it for you on a pilot scheme and see, let's do, this is what I want you to plant based on your soil profile and this and that, and this is what you...
I think Harna uses Kamal Star Tech, and that they are both affected by the cloud. Harna, if you can hear me, I can hear you, and I really would love to hear what you're saying. All right, guys. Harna, if you can, I want you to make sure you can you hear me? If you're hearing me, your audio.
Hello?
Yeah, your audio is going off and on, Harna.
Hello?
I can hear you now. Oh, so sorry, Harna. It's like you're cutting off. Okay, so Harna, let's land this. Let's take it home, right? So, guys, we've been talking with the guys from AFEX about innovation. We're speaking around that whole topic of innovation. What is it? How can we make it better? How can the farmers benefit? AFEX is doing the Code Crash Crop, which is bringing agriculture, fintech, and tech, into the space. The whole idea is to boost outcomes, to bring in the younger folks into this sphere where they are now in agriculture without carrying hoe and cutlass, right? And we've seen some innovative solutions using SSD to convert language to local languages so that the farmer in Jigawa, in Ebonyi, in Ogun State can participate in this tech of agriculture in his own language. And that, of course, will improve yields because he can know what weight, how much crops are being sold, what sort of fertilizer to sell. This is just an example of the ideas that have come out from the hackathon that AFEX is doing. So we are glad they are doing it, and I'm glad that they are looking at expanding and being more open about it even next season, so more adverts, so more folks can come in. We've seen folks say they were not aware of this first one, but that they want to be there for Hackathon 5.0 the next time it comes out. So Kamal, Hakeem, Adana, let's just maybe give our closing remarks, and then I can let you guys all go and enjoy this lovely weekend in whatever city that you are in. Again, we'll start from Kamal, then Hakeem, then Adana. You guys got the floor. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. This was a wonderful session, Kalu. Thank you for having me on it. Haruna, it was also wonderful to hear some of your thoughts and opinions on how we can do things better. Everyone can join us in this journey of feeding Africa and making wonderful, impactful, and successful innovations. Follow us on our website, on Twitter, Instagram, and everywhere you can. And also collaborate and share ideas with us as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kamal. I appreciate you. Let's keep in touch, please. Hey, Hakeem.
Okay. Once again, thank you very much, Kalu, for having me. I think for me, it's the Lagos State government via LSCTF, the Employment Trust Fund, and a bit going deeper is via the Lagos Innovates team, is out there to support innovation and tech-driven enterprises in Lagos State, both agric and non-agric. I think for us is, if you're a founder, if you're an innovatively driven young person, you shouldn't have any barrier in front of you to be able to bring your thoughts or your ideas to market. So we are out there to support via incubation, via access to workspaces as infrastructure, via access to talent. So while there's the age-long issue about the government not being on the session of innovation, I think we're out here to change that, saying that the government is out there to support because of the immense economic benefits, the immense growth in GDP that can be gotten from it. So to every innovator, to every founder out there, the Lagos State government via Lagos Innovate is out there to support. Thank you very much.
Got you. And Hakeem, can I also ask if it's possible to share these links, right? So folks could just maybe share the link of what you're doing, so that way I can retweet. Okay. Folks
so you can follow at Lagos Innovate on Twitter, at LSCTF on Twitter, and all other social media platforms. Lagos and Innovate, LSCTF, LSETF, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, and you'll be up to date with all of our intervention and all of our programs. So far as you're based in Lagos, you don't have to be a citizen; you just have to be a resident of Lagos.
Good call. Thanks, Hakeem. So just share, please, and I'll forward. Thank you so much. Adana, you've got the floor.
Yeah.
Thank you, Carlo. And I think for the person who had said that, they weren't aware about this year, so we're looking forward to having you participate next year. Please join a hub, accelerator program, incubation hub, any of those hubs around your area. And the goal next year for us is to spread out as much as we can across the country, visit all of these hubs within, the south, east, north, and, make sure that we are able to spread this information wide. Follow us on social media to be very much updated. And just with regards to Cold Cash Crop, we're very excited with how much progress that we've made so far. And we're excited to, have the 4th edition, August 12th at Landmark. So if you would like to, and it's going to be very exciting, and I'm very excited. We've put in a lot of thought in, from the hackathons to the boot camp and even to the grand finale, and we're excited to host everyone who will be joining us. And yeah, you can go on our social media pages, register, and we look forward to seeing you at Landmark. So yeah, thank you so much, Carol.
Great stuff, great stuff. I mean, guys, if you have to follow an angle to just talk about agriculture, please follow Apex. Their Twitter feed is very rich. Data, information, news. They also saw something there about investing notes in agriculture. You guys have to come and talk to us about that, how we can invest. Yeah, come talk to us and let's detail that. I saw the yield there look pretty good. Let's understand what that is. Like, I want to invest in maize. I'm not a farmer. How can I get into that space, and participate?
We definitely should have that. We have a lot of products that we're looking to launch this next quarter, and we'll be happy to share more details as we're ready to launch them. It's very exciting products, and I can't wait for it to be in the market and have people invest in them.
Yeah, we want to make more yield. There's inflation, but if we get ways that we can beat inflation, we are all ears. Everybody in Nigeria wants to make a return on capital, and of course, everyone wants to diversify revenues from salary. So this is gonna tick those 2 boxes. So we're all in it. If you guys want to speak about it, please come. Open invitation, right? All right, folks. Thanks.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. We are always here every weekend. We talk money, economy, and of course, personal finance. We make it personal to you. How does it affect your wallet? And I'm open, right? If you want to talk about any topic around these, hit me up, and then we can talk and schedule you in so that we learn from you. Next week, we want to try to have our usual, talk about the economy. I want to talk about the palliatives, what's happening with the palliatives. Is it a negative or a positive? Remember, what the government is doing today in terms of removal of subsidy is tough, it's necessary. Maybe the way they've done it could be done better, but it is necessary. So we have to start to rearrange the economy. But in this rearranging, people are going to suffer. I want to talk about how maybe they can do it better, or what way can we do a palliative that's but easier. But agriculture is always going to be a go-to space for every Nigerian. Agriculture in one way or the other. Either you're going to be a farmer, or you're going to be a retailer, or you're going to be an investor. You want to get your hands into that agricultural space. What you see here is just very minimal right now. Nigeria has still not tapped into the potential of what agriculture can do. And agriculture remains the largest contributor to GDP, largest employer to labor. So there is enough space for everyone to play a part of. You've just got to find a space in that sliver and be there and try to make your way there. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you guys next week. It's going to be on a Sunday, and hope you guys will be here with us. On that note, guys, take care. Thanks Apex, thanks Adanak, thanks Kamal, and thanks everyone that has joined in, including Harna. Appreciate you guys all. I'll see you next week, and bye.